Yo, what is good? Welcome back to another extra Creddy podcast, baby. We back, episode 2, baby. Let's go. I'm here. I'm Dawson, obviously. I'm here with our boy Eric Potsy. We got my boy uh Dylan, OTW Dylan on the way, Dylan Revenenberg. The
What's good?
Revenenberg.
What's good? What's good? How's everyone? We're looking forward to getting into this episode. We got some stuff to cover, and
Hell
I'll
yeah.
lead it off to
No guests
Dawson.
tonight.
No guests,
No
just
guests
us.
tonight. That means you gotta like our voices. 40 minutes of nonstop, unfiltered, mostly filtered, actually. Potsia, Lavelle, and OTW
Jesus.
Dylan content.
No complaints.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I mean, we can get right into it. I don't have to always lead the conversation, you fuckers, but um, CCL launch tourney, talk about those results if you want to. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm on the other monitor right here.
So how many
But
teams we got? I think we got 85. Is that right? It was 80
something
plus
like
teams.
that.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I was pretty closely involved. I guess Dylan probably was as well because Windsor participated in it.
Yep.
St. Clair did. I know you're a little more hands off there right now, Dawson. But I mean, first things first. Jesus, forfeit land. That was
Ollie.
that second weekend was forfeit after forfeit. There was those conflicts with the Challengers Cup, and I mean, unfortunately, and maybe in retrospect there's some regrets there, and I think Dylan would let me have it for that. But I think we regret forfeiting out of that. We lost to a team called like Dakota State or something. They were all over us on Twitter. They were like all over. Shady was getting roasted on Twitter by these boys from
Jesus.
Dakota State because he ended up getting rounded. He was up 1-0 in his series in his best of 3 in the first round or the second round because he had a bye. They were up 1-0 and they were up in the search and destroy, and this team was trying to forfeit them in the CCL tournament. And
Damn.
they ended up losing full, lost the S&D, lost the control after that. So that's
Hey,
rough.
well, know what? I said it. If your team wasn't making top 62 or top 32,
64,
if that
yeah.
64, sorry, my bad. Don't even try. Like, what's the point?
It's tough.
Like you had
dude,
5K on the line.
It's
and
the first cup though.
Yeah,
like-
I know.
It's like if you want to compete the rest of the year, you got to play the first cup. It's a tough one. It is a tough one, but it feels like shit when you lost those rounds. Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't know.
That's
You got to do what you got to do.
that's the issue, right? Is like as much as like the argument came about, and it's like this tournament, the CCL Open is for 5K, and then you have Challengers Cup, which is for 2K. Like a lot of people got to remember that like the Challengers Cup points right now mean a lot, especially if you're trying to get to the Pro Am, because you need those points to qualify for Pro Am, right? And that's Major 1. I mean, you literally it's based off of the points from the first 2 cups, and like that's it. Then you play a qualifier. Like
yeah, my point is
you need the seeding.
My point is you should be focusing on CollegeCoD if you ain't making it to the Pro Am, and there's quite a few teams that decide to play in Challengers.
Yeah, I mean, I see both sides of it. Like realistically, they're not. No one that was skipping the CCL Open, or maybe like the Northwood guys, sure, but for the most part, the people who were skipping the launch for the cup, I'm sure they weren't thinking they were going to win the 2K. First of all, like it's not like they were thinking they were going to win.
They're just going for pro points at that point. Yeah.
They're just going for pro points, and it's because they don't want to get stuck in the cycle. Like even like on Western's team last year, like Pookie, he topped 128 at like the first 3 cups, and all the guys he played with in his circle were top 64, some were top 32ing, and no one was going to give him a chance at that point because he was so far behind on points. And just like you end up playing like teams like Texas Nation or whatever in the first round of the cup, or not the first round, but like the first round for points in the cup at that point, and it just becomes a vicious cycle where there's no going up. So I see it from both likes, but yeah, that's a tough one. Maybe let's move on past the forfeiting and actually into the games here. The first weekend. Let's start with that. We got the first weekend where, I mean, some teams like Western, we played one map in the first weekend.
Yep.
I don't know, St. Clair, I don't know if you guys even had a series in the first weekend or how that went.
I think they played one series. I think they did.
St. Clair, I see
think
it.
that
It's
was it.
Ball State up there.
No, they played 2 series. They played. Oh wait, DePaul. They
Well,
played DePaul. It says they played
Yeah, they
Dakota, and
played
it says
Ball
Texas
State
A&M.
and
It says they played 3 games. 3 games. Huh? They play. It says winners round 1, winners round 2, and winners quarters were all played weekend 1.
no, that's got to be the first day of weekend 2. You're thinking?
nah, this
Or
is group stage. We're talking about round 1 and round 2. So St. Clair got a bye, and then they played Ball State. They 3-1 Ball State, made it through. We
Oh, I forgot about
take a peek at the
groups.
University of Windsor here. They got a forfeit win in their first match against. Well, what a shock! A forfeit win. But then then they play their second match against University of Texas.
was there
And
any upsets here that stood out to you guys? I mean, I know there was a lot of forfeits, and it's hard to take too much from a launch tourney where some of the rosters might have been funny. Uh, but like first round, I was a bit surprised by Carleton going down. Carleton lost to a school called Gogabek Community College, I believe it was. I know, like I whenever I have to Google the location, like I see like the name Gogabek,
shouldn't
and
have
I'm like,
happened.
yeah, I'm like, I've never heard that word before. Like, sorry, like that sounds disrespectful.
Here it
Maybe my
is.
American geography isn't great. But I'd imagine it's not a school with a big population, and Carleton beat us last year, and so I was a bit surprised by that one.
Yeah, and it
But
wasn't like it was not a close matchup. The first hard point was within 20. Carleton kind of shit the bed in search, and then second matchup was within 20 again for hard point, and
mm-hmm.
pretty close. But
Yeah,
it shouldn't be that close
they
against
were.
a school like that.
That's a team from NJ. I will say, like, I
New
don't. You guys
Jersey.
probably don't know. No. You guys probably don't know what that is, but it's a league called NJCAAE.
Yeah,
Would not
colleges
recommend
only,
would
baby.
would not recommend playing in it.
No,
But
dog shit league.
but basically, it's like only community colleges basically, and we 3-0'd. I think, yeah, we had an undefeated season. We literally won it flat out, grand finals, everything, 3-0 in that league. But when it came to that team, that was the team that won the year before. So
Oh,
they,
so
like,
they have a history.
they have a history. They
Okay.
won that league the year before we got in it. I mean, we
Mhm.
3-0'd them, but
But
it's
the
like
bar for that league is like
See,
the bar for the league is low. But I've also seen that team was in CCL. That team was in CCL before.
oh, okay.
oh
Yeah,
okay. So they aren't just
See,
nobodies.
I assume they were a first year team, and when you see a first year team, I feel like you often see like maybe like one or two guys that know Comp COD and two guys who like played Warzone once or something, and just have to round out the roster. And so I mean, I guess if they've been together a little longer, that makes a bit more sense. Moving down the bracket though, I also see Fisher College. I'm assuming that this must not have been their main roster. This must have been like their Warzone kids or something. I know that they do have a B team, but this was the only Fisher College entered in the tournament. They got
Mm-hmm.
3-1 by Mississippi State.
Yep.
So that's like Gamer Dude and Co. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of a surprise there. And then McMaster, who top 25 like all last year, we know, and we'll go into their roster maybe a bit later. But McMaster got 3-0'd by High Point. So that was, I guess, two teams who'd been around top 25 a lot of last year. But I would have expected a little more of a fight, I think, from that McMaster team. And I mean, they said that they got screwed with the bracket a little bit. It's early in the season though. Like you can't read into it too much. Those upsets happen, and it might just be like any given day type thing at that point. Like maybe that team had scrimmed twice, and that's really all it takes in week 2 of
facts.
of MW2. So maybe let's move on to the second week. That was
Sure.
so yeah, that was a weird bracket though, the way that they I thought they would have played more games the first weekend.
I know it seemed like they really put all the emphasis on the second weekend, which didn't make sense with the cup, and that's why people were
Yeah.
pissed about the scheduling. And I mean, they definitely could have made that a Friday, Saturday, Sunday grind fest the weekend before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you guys got to remember, like, you gotta always like they have to plan stuff well in advance, man. Like, these guys have to get approval for stuff like way ahead of time, and then if college if Activision is like, we're gonna throw the cup here,
Yeah.
they can't really do anything about it. Like, they can't switch weekends.
Well,
Like,
I'd imagine
they're not allowed to.
they probably had to pay their broadcasters, want to give them like schedules in
Yeah,
advance and all that. And I know in talking to Paint, like if there was a certain amount of teams, they were going to play more games on the first weekend, and
100%.
maybe even start a day earlier. So I guess that's where the rest of the time went. Like they must have planned it out so far in advance, and had all these contingency plans, and that's just kind of how the cookie crumbled. But Looking at the second weekend, I thought it was really cool to see a team from Hawaii making it on. They didn't go far in the second weekend, but the fact that they made it there, like I don't think we've had a CCL team from Hawaii yet. Not to my knowledge. I know that they have a good, I want to say, Valorant team at the University of Hawaii. I know
Yeah.
I've seen them in other esports. But that ping, that
I
ping
was
in
gonna
Call of Duty
say.
is gonna be fun, I
I was gonna
guess.
say
That's
that might have been helping them out a little bit. I'm not to be that guy, but if they were hosting any of the games, I feel like that would be if they say they got to host like 3 out of the 5 maps, right? Like I already would say that's a massive advantage
hey,
for them.
but game 1 between Oregon and Hawaii within 2 points. So even if it was that bad, like even game 2 S&D wasn't that close, but their third hard point wasn't a blowout. So
True.
the connection isn't, I don't think, horrible, but it's still gonna be bad on both ends.
I will say I do think it worked in the favor of teams who just kind of have gunny in a sense when we're playing 3 hard points as opposed to a
Yep.
control. I think
Yeah, for sure.
control is a map that is going to go in favor of the team that's more well coordinated most of the time, and so I think some teams fared a little better having those three hardpoint maps. Like my team, for example, like they had not scrimmed at all, and so I think hardpoint came a lot more natural to them.
Yeah, same with us. Yeah.
And so that felt pretty good. Uh, a matchup that was mentioned in chat, an upset was Farmingdale State, who I believe actually ended up the way that second tier broke in CCL last year, where we split it up into like the A group, the B group, the C group, the D group. I think they were in the D group. They were low down and they were in
Yeah.
No,
Northeast.
no.
Were they higher than that? Were they C?
No, they were with us. They were
Oh, they were
second.
in B. Okay, maybe.
They were
Okay.
second to us. They
Okay,
literally
maybe
had
I
to.
was misremembering. That's my
That
bad.
was the. I'm pretty sure
That's
they
my
were the
bad.
second. I think they were the second best team.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure they were second seed in B tier, right below us, and then they just got a shitty luck of the draw, literally, and they had to play us as their like play-in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah, we
So
were
they're better
sitting
than I
there
gave them credit for. But they do
100%.
have, and Priestley mentioned it, they do have Spades now, who I've actually heard of. I think he comes from like a similar group as Pookie and stuff, like kind of top 64 type kid. So they have someone who just happens to be at the school. I don't think it's a
Yep,
scholarship school or anything. And we know that that can go a long way. Having one player who kind of gets it and can maybe help shape the other
oh for
players
sure.
or coordinate them is definitely a good draw for them. So, but still beating Texas State, like that's a pretty storied team in the CCL, a team that's, I mean, and in Collegiate Halo.
It's
Pretty sure
cemented,
they're,
I'd say.
yeah, I think they were like top 2 in Collegiate Halo last year, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
So pretty impressive win there, and they even took a map off of Chattanooga, albeit an
Hmm.
S&D. It doesn't look like the hard points
You know, we
were
gotta
as
tip
close, but
Chattanooga though. They played
yeah.
their hearts out this tournament. They made it
they were
far,
playing
and
really
they
well.
shocked
They
a
were playing really
lot of
well.
teams because
And they lost someone, didn't they? They lost Clicked or something
I think.
from
Yeah,
last year.
Click was playing in the cup, so he just didn't play
Oh,
the
so
tournament.
they just used a
Okay.
sub. Yeah, yeah,
So like the first weekend he played and they were looking deadly, and then
yeah.
the second weekend came along and he didn't play because he wanted to play in the cup. I
Uh,
seen his ass I seen him in the Twitch chat, bro. He's like, if I was there, bro, St. Clair's going down. They're going down.
I mean,
I
they
do
still
have
took
to.
down SIUE, which is a pretty big win because
That's a
team
CCL LAN
there is
team.
pretty solid.
That's a
Like,
LAN team from last
yeah,
year. That was a top 8 team in CCL last year.
Yeah,
We scrimmed them last year. They were a really good team. Like
no, they're
not
solid.
I don't know if they had anyone like individual that stood out so much compared to some of the other teams around that
Plasmid,
range.
yeah.
See,
Plasmid.
that wouldn't have, I would have said slow-mo. Like
Really?
I wouldn't have even said him first. That's what I'm saying. I
Damn.
don't know that they're like
There's not that one
having
standout
any.
player kind of thing.
No, like they don't have any kids who are
Yeah.
placing like T32 or anything like that.
They all pull
So
their weight, which I think
yeah,
that's what helps that team especially.
but I will say we have a. I mean, our upset in the bracket, we beat Rutgers, but admittedly they played 3v4 for 2 maps.
Damn.
Um,
Damn.
they played 3v4 the first 2 maps. So when you see 250-41 against Rutgers, you know something a little sus is happening. Arguably the best non-scholarship team in the CCL last year, I'd say.
Yep.
I'd say
And
so.
that's kind of we're at Western. That's kind of the bar that we're setting ourselves to. We'd like to get to where they were last year, type thing. So I don't want to act like we just pissed on their actual team. They did bring in their fourth for the third map, and we still won that map at least. But I would have liked to see that series play out without. I'm sorry, with a real team, a team that
Moving
shocked
on.
me. Sorry, if
Moving
you
on
had,
here, I just want to move on a little bit,
yeah,
try and get to the further end of this bracket,
no worries.
Yeah, I
But
wanted to touch on quickly Northwood and Arizona State. That one got forfeited, and Northwood went through.
The
Do you
cup,
think
yep.
ASU would have put up a fight against Northwood?
No.
I don't know.
No,
I don't
it
think
would have
so.
been like a clean game for Northwood. Yeah,
I think Fishity continues to carry that squad. I mean, year over year, but I don't think they have anyone else from last year but him.
Yeah, they were playing with a guy named the Dank Tony I saw on Twitter. So I am not
He's
sure.
been. I've seen.
it's
I've
almost
seen that
worse
name
than
before. I've seen that
OTW
name before.
Dylan.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
Yeah, I've
he's
seen
a
that name
vet.
before.
He's a vet
Must,
according to
he's a vet.
Dawson,
He's a vet. He's a vet. I've seen the
but
Dank Tony, bro.
he was definitely getting memed a bit on the timeline from Fishity, and so I don't know that he was confident in them being able to go that far. But they made a close one with Full Sail, who ended up top 3. So that's definitely not going to be a bad team. It's not like they've fallen off with all their losses this year. So I mean, I think you can keep an eye for them.
Yeah, Pele brought up.
Peely's saying Mars Hill. They good?
That's Megatron's team, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
Jamie's
his.
team.
That's Megatron's team that he's recruited.
His
So
baby.
they went on a little losers bracket run, it looks like, and fell 3-2 in the end to Virginia Commonwealth, which is FaZe Blue.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sniper FaZe Blue, who those guys were Warzone demons, by the way. But it looks like that one went map 5 between the two of them. So they went on a little run. They took down Windsor and High Point. I guess those are probably the two big ones here. And I don't know if you know anything about that series, Dylan. How'd the series against Mars Hill go?
Not great.
Not great.
I'll leave it at that. But I don't know. Mars Hill looks pretty solid. They've recruited players. They're on Scully now. They have the resources they need to pull in decent players. So I think they'll go.
I think they'll make top 25.
I think they'll be top 25. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. But like, it's so clear what your top 2 in this tournament were. Like Northwood and St. Clair. Like it was just a mile apart from all the other teams.
It's our NACE Varsity Premier Grand Finals in Philly coming up. Plugging that if you're in the Philly area.
Who's excited for some Vanguard?
Who's excited for Vanguard LAN in December?
Jesus, that's horrible.
If the servers are still up.
I want to see Jay Priestley doing like the Rocky montage in Philadelphia, like running up the stairs. Oh, that would be nice.
Sauce, you know what you got to do, Priestley.
He knows what he has to do now.
Content.
Nah, but
I think if there's any more teams we have to hit on here, I think it's just Full Sail. Full Sail's the biggest one, I guess.
Yeah, Full Sail's pretty good.
I know Dawson followed that. Someone stole your gamer tag, I saw.
Bro, someone stole. Bro, I don't know. I leave the CCL and someone's trying to be level, bro.
Someone's trying to be hated.
Bro, someone's trying to. Yeah, I know. Someone's trying to get shit on, bro. I mean,
like they can steal your flow, but they can't steal your last name. That's pretty fucked up.
Exactly. That is bro. And someone's like, the guy said that's his nickname from when he was a kid. I'm like, how the hell do you get that as a nickname? Like, it's not even
my real name.
That's not even in the boy's real name. How do you just randomly get that as a nickname coming across? Damn. But no, that team looks good though. I will say, like, we put some clips on them. Clips of them on the Twitter, I think, actually.
I think it's like
out here.
You know how we call people like Vanguardians type thing, like people that were only good on the come up in Vanguard. Like maybe these are your Modern Warfare 2-ians. I don't know what to call them, but
yeah,
like they got 3-0 pissed on by OTSU a few days ago on Vanguard.
I got you, Dill.
So
I got you with this one. Here you go. There's a clip. I got that one. Let's see what else we got here. Dude, they were playing good though, man. They were playing good.
Standstill just because the dust levels kind of lost information where these last 2 players were located at.
Look at this clip. Look at this clip. This kid, bro, this Nick kid was going crazy. Oh. This guy was feeling himself.
Oh, I don't care.
He's got an M4. Oh, this 1v3 is actually.
You gotta love seeing snipers back.
No way.
No, it's so nice.
Now it's a 1v1. He's gonna hop this.
Yeah, but I just feel like it changes the way that you play S&D so much. It's a nice sight to see for sure. Yeah. And you know that like guys like FaZe Blue and S&D with the sniper, that is going to be fun to watch. I feel like in the CCL this year.
100%.
Yeah. if he's sniping on that S&D, I mean, other people got some shit coming to him. Let me tell you, they definitely should be winning those. They should be winning those.
I think it's.
Go ahead.
No, I think like we got to bring up quickly the fact that CollegeCoD thought they had the right to disrespect St. Clair with the 40-point club.
We gotta wait. We're still talking about Full Sail out here.
Okay, my bad.
We're still talking.
You
want to
talk about St. Clair getting Full Sail, basically?
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
pretty
God,
much
that's
what
horrible.
happened. Dawson just doesn't want to talk about it.
Listen, I gotta say real quick though, because
Take
Full
that
Sail
stray.
they deserve the credit 100%.
Yeah.
That boy Nick was going off, Meathead
Yeah.
was going off, Love was going off, Mystical was going off. They all were having like some really good games. I mean, damn, for like not being, I don't think they were a program last year, or at least even if they like
No, they were.
not a program, like, but
It was most of the same guys.
was
That's
it?
the crazy part.
I don't
That's
remember.
what I'm
like,
saying.
I don't remember them being around or like being as notable.
Because they weren't relevant last year.
Yeah, man.
They-
And then
like,
even like, bro,
They might have made some changes, but it was not anything significant, I think, to the point where like they're piecing some of the teams that like there's no way they should have been fighting back against some of these teams if you just read the names.
Yeah.
That's what's impressive to me is like this might be a team who's just on the come up this year. Like maybe they're just good at modern or like Pele said in the chat, like maybe some of these teams drop off. Maybe it's just the launch tournament and it's random because nobody's learned the game yet.
True.
So I guess that's also a distinct possibility.
But like even we're gassing up Full Sail. They still lost to ASU, Northwood, St. Clair, still on another level. Like it just comes to the fact that we gotta have teams that can.
Let's talk about your disrespect now, if you want.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. So, CollegeCoD popped a quick tweet out.
Listen, all I gotta say is
introducing the first CCL 40-point club of Modern Warfare 2.
Put on the best performance,
Not
we have
first
seen
either.
all.
Yeah,
Not the
so
first,
so we'll clear
Not
that
the
up.
first,
We'll
though.
clear that up.
No.
It's not the first because Sauce came back right away, and he's like, no, not the
He
first.
stole my
Bad
screenshot.
tweet.
I was the one who
Boo.
tweeted that first.
and that's
I
crazy.
tweeted-
That's crazy.
So I put this tweet out first. This is my screenshot because
Wow, Sauce
that
stealing
Dakota
tweets.
State team. That Dakota State team is the team that forfeited us. We got forfeited by this Dakota State team, and then they couldn't put up a fight in the hard points against
Yeah.
Full Sail. That was brutal. They
Yeah.
deserved that on the
Yeah,
timeline.
sheesh, 31, 84. Yeah, you don't forfeit to do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
See, the thing we're forgetting too, and that a lot of people are forgetting. First off, I don't really think it was a good look for CCL to post that, especially when that's your grand finals match.
Yeah, I feel that.
I didn't like
feel
that. Like I was like, as much as I get it. Like it was a banger series, and that map was shitty. But at the same time, like what no one was thinking about is there was no veto process to this tournament at all. It was preset maps and modes for every single game. And I heard that St. Clair was wishing they had vetoes and they wanted to like go with vetoes because the thing is, and that's with every team in this tournament, man. Like there was teams that had no clue about some of these maps. We're playing maps that aren't even in the CDL rule set still.
Yeah,
And if a team is playing, if a team knows that map better, you're instantly at a disadvantage and you have to play it. You can't veto. If say Mercado is their worst map, they can't veto it. They can't do anything about it. They just got to play it out.
Kind of luck
And
of the
it's
draw at the point. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? And it's at the same time, people are also forgetting that St. Clair just went map 5 with Northwood in a grand final.
Yeah.
Whereas that, who else in this tournament is taking maps off Northwood?
No,
one,
and this comes back
Like,
to
it's
the
like-
point where CollegeCoD doesn't give the Canadians enough credit. Because, no, it's not even the fact...
This is a rabbit hole. I know, I don't disagree, but this is a rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit hole, and if we get into it, it's hell, but like...
Yeah, we don't want to go anywhere with this. But...
No, we won't go anywhere with that, but it is a good thing to bring up that St. Clair is one of the first Canadian teams to place top 3 in a tournament since 2020,
Yep.
which I believe was brought
That's
up by
huge.
Heat, so that is awesome for the Canadian scene, and
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of talent, like, coming into this semester and in CollegeCoD next semester, like... I have a good feeling we're gonna have 3, 4, 5 teams in the top 25, like
at some
first
point,
few
yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
I think there's definitely, and we'll talk about specific teams soon, but I think there's definitely a few teams that are going to hit that at some point. But just before we move on from the St. Clair thing, I just want to point out, like, people were shitting on Sino for that. Like, that clip shows him going 2-16 or something. That kid placed top 32 in his first cup the same weekend.
Yep.
Like some of those people that were talking were the kids that got double first rounded in the cup, or I guess not even double. There's not a losers bracket at the start, but that got rounded in the cup and are talking shit. It's like, come on, man. Like you're not putting up a better fight. Like just let them rock. Like at the end of the day, we get that there's schools that have more recruiting powers than others. At the end, it's always going to be a bit of an uphill climb, but St. Clair has come the closest to dethroning that. Like that is as close as it's got without talking about like Bay State or whatever, who even had a hard time with Northwood last year.
Yep.
So it's like it's tippable. It's definitely tippable, and I won't be surprised to see them put up an even stronger fight as the season goes on.
No,
100%.
St. Clair 100% has the pieces they need, and they have depth in their roster to be able to swap a player out. And like people really love to judge people based off one game. Everyone's gonna have a shitty game.
Yeah.
Shit the bed. Like if you ever looked at my KD from the first season I played in the CollegeCoD, I had a shit season, and then I retired. So,
I don't know where that example wasn't helping this conversation.
Not at all. I just wanted to blame myself. Not gonna lie. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. It's like people forget that people have bad maps.
Yeah.
Like and plus you got to remember too, the first day they didn't play with Sino or Bendy. They had a completely different roster the first day. So those guys came into that MW2 launch tournament, Bendy and Sino, playing with Priestley and Brandon on that day too, like hot off the cup, playing with a completely different team.
Yep.
So it's just like if I'm Sino, like you just got to roll with the punches, man. Like at that point,
it's a completely different dynamic. You're going from playing with one team to another within the same day. Like you're obviously going to be a little off at the start. But...
And I'm telling you right now, if St. Clair wins that map 3, that map 4 that they post, bro, let me tell you, that's a whole different
I mean,
story.
Priestley brought it up. He's like, we won 2 maps.
If they would have lost the series after winning a game 250-38, they would have looked fucking horrible. Northwood.
That would have been Twitter would have
been horrible.
Twitter would have exploded. That would have been great.
Hey, CollegeCoD would have got all the interactions they want.
So Warzone?
Warzone.
That the next totally different talking point? Our game's too broken to talk about at this point, right? So
yeah,
let's move on to the one that Activision cares about.
Yep, the one that they prioritize. So Warzone 2.0. CollegeCoD announced that on December 5th and 6th, they're doing their launch open for Warzone 2.0. 5K's up for grabs. Quite a few teams ready to go. I know the Windsor boys are going to try and get a team together. Western's out there.
Do you know who's playing from Windsor? You said
I think we got Sus. We have Sus, Chum, and I'm not sure who the third's going to be, but they're figuring that out.
Duos.
Oh, even better. Sus and Chum.
Yeah.
Period.
So it's a different format. If anyone kept up with the summer Warzone stuff that was happening, those were
Dylan, you want to open up that info?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it started out in the summer as a 3v3 custom matches, and then they ended up, because of custom matches being taken out of the game, they moved on to like 3-player teams, kill races in public lobbies. But because it was already 3 players on the team, it's not like you could like match, like you could get in the same lobby as someone else by randomness, but like you weren't necessarily like, I could be playing in a fucking 0.8 KD lobby that has no CCL kids, and someone else could be playing in a 1.21 that has half the teams in the lobby. Like it just be like that. And so yeah, there's a lot of complaints obviously about the randomness. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. But this time around they're doing duos so that they can do kill races against people, like head to head. So you got 2 on each team in the quad. You're playing for the most kills in however many games, and you're gonna move through a bracket, just like if it was a normal like Modern Warfare 2 tournament, just heads up, one versus the other. So that'll be a lot more interesting to me, in all honesty. I love seeing like the rivalries and being able to see like people directly competing with each other, not competing against the clock or whatever's going into a spreadsheet, right? So,
and if it's working that way, there's no way a team can geocache or whatever it's called. Like there's no chance because then both teams will be. So Kershey's going to be out here like, why am I playing in such bad lobbies? Like, who knows?
Damn, that's crazy.
No, it's just like, it's the truth. I guess we'll see how teams really play. Like Waterloo's gonna, hey, this kid's still complaining a month and a half later. He can get it. He also bought Twitter, but
Damn.
anyway,
That's a stray.
stray times 2. Anyway, he's not watching anyway.
That was direct impact, actually. That's not even a stray at that
But-
That's
point.
crazy.
But there's no way you can complain in this format, and it's really well set up. Lots of money on the line. Teams are going to be out here trying to put their name out there. You're going to have Blue again on the side of Virginia, and that's always like a damn. He's like so good, and like it's hard to keep up with teams like that. But that team's so one-sided. Like Dino ain't doing much.
Well, and part of it now is that we're not factoring in like something that the Western team, we kind of, as people who weren't as experienced in Warzone, kind of got screwed ourselves on, is like we wouldn't play for the placement as much because we were just playing like so aggro for kills, but we were playing with a kill multiplier thing where like you got first place, it was times 2.0. Well, now we're not going to have that. It's a direct kill race. And so like people that are better are going to win most of the time. I mean, I guess it's tough if you die early or whatever, but I think for the most part, to make it through a whole bracketed win, you got to be the best team. And so that's going to be, I think, something that people can't complain about as much. So I'm excited to see how Jexen does, in all honesty. And I'm not.
I brought that up too. I honestly think it'll be interesting to see how that team does. Like Waterloo, are they going to come out? And
Homie has like a 5.0 KD.
Yeah,
and
bro's nasty.
Queens.
Anyone
Queens
who thinks, sorry, Queens, mixing up teams.
But yeah, he's like a 5.0 KD.
Yeah, he's nasty.
Yeah, no, some of those kids are wild, man. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, looking at this format too. The reason why this format is actually the way it is too is because Warzone 2 launched without custom lobbies. So, not sure how that one worked out, but it's really weird that they just didn't come out with custom lobbies, I guess, especially when Call of Duty technically just like co-hosted this $100,000 tournament today and they had to play duos. Duo kill races basically. But yeah, no, I mean $5,000 in prizing, like it's looking really good. At least they're not overlapping with any of the CDL matches at least. They're not going to be overlapping with the cup number 2 at least. They're finishing it the 5th and the 6th. I believe the second cup is going to be on December 10th, 11th. And then basically right
I just
after
read
that.
this. Input is both controller and mouse and keyboard.
It was in the summer as well. Yeah,
That's interesting to me.
I actually think that Jexen, if I remember, and someone can correct me, but I know that he's playing controller for the CCL and stuff, but I think he plays mouse and keyboard on Warzone. I'm pretty sure. Someone else would have to confirm with me, or I can.
I mean, I
talk to
can
him,
understand why. Like it's
Yeah, Pele confirmed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I mean it's easier to control your recoil. I swear to God, I loaded into one and somehow my controller wasn't on my input and I had to play with mouse and keyboard. I was about to back out, and it honestly, at least recoil wise, like it's pretty fucking easy. Like it feels pretty good. If you know how to play like mouse and keyboard games, like I've played CS:GO, I've played Valorant, like if you know how to control recoil, fucking pull down on your mouse. It's it's not that hard, honestly. Like it's not hard to trace someone in that game on a mouse, at least, right? I can see where cheating accusations could come out for like stuff like that too. Now, like that, I actually like tried it out, but it's like shit, man. Like it's pretty easy to just stay on track. Like it's not that damn hard.
Something that I am going to bring up in the prizing that's a little interesting that I just noticed is compared to the launch open, they're giving more money to second place than third, and third and fourth are both getting 500 this time. So in the launch open, they gave 750 to third place, 1250 to second, 2500 to first. In the Warzone, they're going to give 2500 to first, 1500 to second, then 500 for third and fourth. What do we think about that?
So I'm wondering if it's because of how the bracket's going to get formulated. I don't know if there's an actual how it's going to work out or like how the bracket's going to work, but it might be because it's like you can't really determine. Well, technically they could pit like third and fourth against each other and kind of whoever is better just gets the third. But
I think I've seen some complaints about the fact that like I saw actually a Twitter thread that Sean from St. Clair is going back and forth about these prize pools. It's like once you divide them over the teams, they're kind of nothing in a sense, especially like compared to like some of these scholarships that some kids are getting. And that's not a complaint from my point, because like at the end of the day, you're making money playing Call of Duty for fun in a niche group of people. Like I don't know, it's hard to complain about, but like think about that second place now, as opposed to the CDL launch the CCL launch thing where you're splitting it amongst 4 people at least. That's like $300 a person or something for second place. Like this one's $750 a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's only 2 people on a team and it's a higher prize pool.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if part of it is just the cashing out part as well. Like they wanted to reward people even more for coming top 2. And I mean, it's going to be, in my mind, a lot of the same teams again. We don't have rosters yet, but I got to think that like Timmy Phantoms and Dylan Rex are going to be able to keep up gunny wise no matter what, I'd think. And so I think a lot of these variant kids might actually benefit from this. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm just glad to see that the CCL took some of the feedback about the poor formatting, which wasn't even really their fault. Their hand was
Yeah.
kind of forced in the summer.
Mhm.
But I'm glad that they seem to have come to a solution that I think people, at least the general sentiment from Twitter so far, has been pretty positive about it.
All right, we're gonna hop off Warzone because enough Warzone
Yeah.
for me.
100%.
Let's hop on to the Canadian Esports Nationals that's coming up this week. COD is
Not-
supposed to play on Wednesday, and Eric, I kind of want to hear your opinion on what's going on in the back end and if it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
I mean, I don't want to use the word confirm because like things could change. I know it's very fast moving right now the way that the state of the game is, and I'm sure everyone listening to this knows that Modern Warfare 2 is absolutely shambolic right now. And
Dog
teams haven't
shit.
really scrimmed until today. I would say is probably the first day that like I don't know if the pro teams scrimmed. Dawson would probably know.
Yeah, they're scrimming. They're scrimming.
Yeah, and the top AM teams are scrimming today. And so at least this is what I'll say. First off, we're not playing Vanguard. If
Yep.
anyone was worried that we were going to go back to playing Vanguard,
No
I
chance.
know that most of you guys have it uninstalled. I think that this tournament will get canceled before you playing Vanguard.
I said it. I said it in the chat when we were deciding, and I was like, I'm pretty sure everyone's uninstalled the game and will never want to go back and play it again.
It was not happening. It was
Yeah,
like
no.
Nace is already a reach.
Yep.
And Sean knew it was a bit of a meme, so like I don't think it was ever a serious consideration. So like never fear though, Vanguard's not happening.
Yep, we're good.
Gavin keeps on saying Black Ops 4, and so I have to acknowledge him. There is like even lower chance of us playing Black Ops 4 than playing Vanguard. That's not even a 4v4.
Let's just hop on AW real quick, like
You know,
like-
let's break out Black Ops 2 Plutonium and let's just start running slums at this point.
Yo, like that was my prime days, so I'm in. You guys were like 8 years old probably. I'm good.
Bro.
bro.
My
Black
old
Ops
man
2
hands
is my
were useful
first
back
COD.
then.
First COD.
But yeah, so no jetpack CODs either.
Yep.
If this is being played, it's going to be on Modern Warfare 2. It's going to be played realistically because like the only thing that was going to stop us is if it's literally unplayable in the sense of like lobbies aren't working and shit like that. Because kind of the goal of this tournament, like there's no prize pool or anything. It's a bit of bragging rights amongst Canadian
Yep.
teams, especially we're all kind of friends with each other at this point. So that makes it a little more interesting. It's going to build storylines through the year.
Exactly.
But also it's a way to showcase the game to like administration and stuff at our schools. It's like a real solid product. And if you don't know what Esports Canada Post Secondary is, like it's a group being led by like an initiative being led by all these esports directors at Canadian schools. So like from St. Clair, from Keanu, from Fanshawe, all these schools that have people in hired paid positions that have in their title or in their job description esports in some sort. And these people, like, it's not really selfish goals. It's like they are looking to grow this space for all the other schools as well. They don't want just themselves to be eating. And I'm sure it helps them if esports grows across Canada, but they want other schools to benefit from this. They want them to see the value and the utility of this. And so this was a way to have actual esports professionals help us kind of have a platform. And for a game like Call of Duty that's already stigmatized to all these administrations, that's really fucking important. Like we have to get ourselves out there in a coherent way, really.
Yep.
That is like, hey, look at this. This can be a value to your university. This, like your institution, because we forget how huge universities are. And they always say like, oh, or colleges too. Like we have some big community colleges in Canada. It's like there's always that statement like, oh, you're just a number. It's like, how do we become more than a number? How do we become more than a statistic to them? We want to be like a real thing on campus. And there's very few schools who can say that they are at this point. Like Dawson has been able to go through the esports program and see it go from literally like nothing and rise all the way to the top at St. Clair and kind of be this standard now in Canada. Dylan, You guys now have scholarships. I know that those didn't exist when you were there. These are the things that we're working towards.
Yep.
And so we kind of need everyone to work together to that. And we know that there's going to be some bumps in the road with this tournament because there are going to be some wonky ass rules. We're going to do our best. Settings, we're going to do our best to take basically what COD agents and like other tournament hosts are doing right now. Because admittedly, I'm not doing this testing right now. Like I play Call of Duty like a dad. I get home at like 5 p.m. from work and I'm playing. So I don't know what works as well as some of these other people do.
You gotta
So
do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
It
so
is what
let's-
it is right now, man.
And
Yeah,
one of
so-
what? It's better to run something than to run nothing. And
Absolutely.
like, there's no prize pool, like you said. It's just for exposure and letting teams have a little fun, get some reps in against some other skilled teams, and just see what happens. Like, teams have
some
nothing to do
schools-
for the next few weeks, so
For some schools, it's like a tryout still. Like I know that there's schools like U of T that are planning on experimenting some players that have been in their tryouts, and so I'm sure that there's a few schools that are gonna throw around with things. And so yeah, just try and have some fun with it. It's I know that there's gonna be complaints about the way that things are, but I think we're doing the best with what we have, and so yeah,
Listen.
tournament should be going forward though.
Listen, man. It's the thing is when right now, like it's looking like qualifier 1 is gonna get played, at least the first set of matches for launch weekend. It's looking like it's gonna get played on the pro level without CDL game mode settings.
Yep.
It's insane.
They don't
That's
know when a
fucking
fix is coming out.
insanity.
If pros have to play with no CDL settings, you can fucking do it too. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, it's
there's
true.
there's no way you're complaining about it. And if pros are gonna have to do the same thing, and literally matches literally start next week.
Hey, I said it to my team. I said, don't complain, just play.
You adapt. That's
Done.
it. You just gotta adapt and play as best as you can.
You can
with what
complain
have
as much
right
as you
now.
want.
Like,
Shit's not gonna change. It's
not
the
gonna
way
change.
it is. Just make the best of it.
That's
anyways,
like
let's
word
get into
to
these
Patrick
groups.
Aches Price.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Let's get into these groups.
This is
Let's
a
see these
leak right
groups.
here. This is leaked intel right here. These groups. I don't think it's a big deal, but we've stalled on
Jesus.
this just because of we haven't put the announcement, the Twitter graphic out because we wanted to make sure the
I'm
tournament.
not
was
going
being
into
played.
any of the brackets. I'm not going into
But,
that. Just the
it's-
groups.
It's not a huge deal, but yeah, these were our groups that we the seeding committee, the same group that have been doing the power rankings. We seeded these groups to be published, and so yeah, this is what turned out. What stands out to you guys?
Probably Group A and Group B. I mean, Group B is like, I say Group A because if University of Toronto comes out the way they came out in like their initial years of being in the CCL, that's like a group of death in my opinion. It's Jesus, man. Like you gotta think, right? Like say something's off with St. Clair, say something's off with U of T, and even if they have a good team, Queens and Royal Military somehow get through. Like automatically that makes the whole rest of the tournament easier for everyone in Group B, C, and D, right? St. Clair doesn't make it through, that still makes it easy for everyone in the rest of the fucking tournament.
I think Group C, other than Lambton, I think they're a pretty solid. Like that Brock Fanshawe, they'll probably finish top. Carleton might be able to contest a little. I don't think there's gonna be much more action happening there. I think your main group to focus on is Group B. I'll be interested to see how Waterloo comes out.
I want to see
plays.
this Dalhousie University, bro.
It's either gonna be a bunch of frat boys who play Warzone, or it's gonna be
I think it might be
an
that.
actual
I think it
few
might
good
be that.
players.
Yeah, that might be the one.
We got so I mean, and maybe we could show the rosters in a second too, or at least discuss them a little bit. But I think it's yeah, that Group B is going to be really interesting to see what McMaster we get. I know that they've lost Disum and Netrix's from last year, and that was a steady top 25 team last year.
Yep.
And I believe that they also might have lost Schneids, which Schneid was maybe the most unheralded player in Canadian CCL scene last year. He's good. And everyone really talked about Disum on that team last year, but no, I think Schneids was pretty close to the same level. And so those are some big losses. But at the end of the day, what I really am looking at is just these new teams. There's 3 brand new teams, hopefully teams that are in the CCL next year. As much as I hope we piss and shit on them, it's like I also hope that they enjoy it enough and have the same passion and drive that they can help us keep growing this scene, especially seeing Dalhousie. a team from out east, where there are no other teams. Like right now, it's all Ontario teams in
Yep.
Canada except for Keanu. So I'd love to keep building that. It's too bad we don't have more Western Canada teams out there at
Where
this
are
point,
you,
but
UBC? Come on.
yeah,
Facts.
UBC, Simon Fraser, like, come on, you guys have huge student populations. I am
Ridiculous.
sure you can get
Yeah.
a team.
Let me get a Northwest Territories team, please. Thanks.
Do they
In-
have a
in-
university or a
inadequate.
college?
I don't even know, bro.
Bro,
even
I don't know.
honestly.
I'm looking at Group D though.
I'll go start it, bro.
If we lose Group D, I'm gonna go to each of my players' houses and grab them by the balls and throw them in the fucking Detroit River.
Jesus.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Christ.
Because
Oh my
how do you
God.
lose to OTSU, U of T,
No,
or U of
that's
Ottawa, and Keanu?
slanderous. That's slanderous. OTSU is good.
Okay, no. I was being a
OTSU
little.
is
OTSU is good, and that will be Windsor's challenge in that group. But
Listen,
Ottawa and
Ottawa,
Keanu
I'd say is
breeze.
pretty. I'd say Ottawa is actually pretty
Man,
decent
I think-
too.
Okay, if they
I
got
think this
fade,
is-
that's it.
I
think
haven't
this is
really
time- I think we should move into this tier
this
list.
tier list.
Yep.
Yeah, let's
Because
do
I
this
feel
tier
like we're
list.
already getting there at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
This is how
Let's
we're
go.
ending off this night. We're ending off this night.
Let's
with
go.
this damn
Let's
tier list.
go.
I
Alright.
gotta leak this. I just got a DM from Chug saying Dylan just went rogue.
Dylan did go rogue. Ah, Jesus Christ.
Oh, what are some of these fucking logos out here? What's that? Paladins? Is that RMC? It's
Yep.
gotta be, right?
Which
Royal
one?
Military
Which one?
College?
The Royal Military?
RMC.
Alright.
RMC is way cooler than the
All right.
Royal
Who
Military
are we
College.
throwing S tier? I think it's pretty simple who we throw S tier.
St. Clair.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah, I think
Throw
only
him in
one.
there.
team
I think
goes up there.
only St. Clair goes
St.
S
Clair's
tier.
S tier.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's gonna take a lot to dethrone them right now. And if anyone else, if there's anyone else on here, not on here, but in the stream, these are only Canadian teams. And this tournament, maybe we didn't outline it well enough. This is a only Canadian CCL tournament that's going to be going on this week with
Yep.
Thanksgiving break going on in the States.
Mhm.
We don't have that. So yeah, St. Clair, those new additions are fucking good too. Like, and they probably would have been there already without those new additions. That's the crazy thing.
100%. That's the thing. I think if they carried over, if they had carried over the team from last year, if like people didn't graduate and whatnot, I think they could still be a top 8 team. Like they'd still be an S tier team.
Like I know Bendy, like I've met Bendy, great guy to begin with, and he's a good ass player, and I've heard of Cino so much on the come up. What do you think of that relaxed guy? Dawson probably more so. I haven't got to hear much about him, but
He's
I
good,
heard
man.
he's from LATAM.
Yeah, he's from Argentina, man. The kid's crazy. Dude came to the tryouts, was on 160 ping, was absolutely frying. It was
Damn.
actually kind of crazy to see. Like, I gotta give the kid props. Like, wow, it was a sight to see. That's for sure, man. Like, I don't even know how to really describe it, man. Like, it's just
Yeah.
the kid turned up. Like, he's like, I want to try out. I'm like, like the ping's gonna be bad, right? He's like, I don't care. Like, he's like, I will play. Like, you let me know
That's
when.
a big risk to take too.
Oh,
Like
he didn't
left
care.
everything, right? Like he left
Yeah.
everything at home and moved to art. And I'm sure that even we know like scholarships, whatever. Like I'm sure there's costs to moving to Canada. A lot of costs to moving
are.
to Canada.
And the
And
one
so-
thing St. Clair can do good is like I talked to him the year before. Are we talking about Nacho?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Yeah, I talked to Nacho the year before, and he was pretty interested in coming to the university. The only thing that he couldn't go by was the price of
Jeez.
international fees.
Yeah.
And it is
That's just
hefty at
expensive.
at the university level compared to the college level.
Mhm.
And I know the one thing St. Clair is good at doing is giving full rides. And they're
Yeah.
able to do that, especially for international students. So that's kind of like their huge selling point. And that's probably what worked out so well for him. Honestly, like, good for him. Like, to be
Yeah.
able to move to
His
Canada
plane ticket
and
to get
do
here
all
was
this,
2K.
like,
A
That's
further
wild.
talking point, I've heard through the grapevine that Keanu actually was the first school to be able to really offer that increased amount for international students, and St. Clair was able to use that as leverage when they went
Yep.
to their administration. Like, hey, Keanu is doing this. Can we use this same type of workaround? And now they've been able to bring in someone like Nacho. And so don't be surprised if
what I heard.
Keanu's always going to have a hard time, I think, recruiting people within North. Like, it's a tough place to go to live and move to northern Alberta for a lot of people. Like not many
Yeah.
people live near there
No.
versus like Ontario where Toronto's still 3 hours away or whatever.
Yeah.
So those international students at Keanu could be on the way. Who knows? But
last thing before we move on to the A tier, about Nacho at least, I will say, great thing about that kid is that like when I first, I know me and Zarin, like I still helped with like our tryout process throughout the summer before I left, obviously. And like when we talked to him, like the thing he kept saying was like, I want to cut. Like he wasn't coming here for COD. Like he kept saying like, I want to come to Canada and get my education.
Yes, that's
Because like he knows
that's so
where
respectable.
he's like that. He knows that coming here is going to help him in the future, right?
Yeah,
That looks
and
so
like
good to a
that's so
program too.
that's so
Yeah.
respectful.
yeah.
to
He
him,
said
man.
the same thing to us, and that's I was always like, come to Canada, you'll get a really good education, have great opportunities. And I always said school comes first, and I say that
Yeah.
to players like to this day. And hey, it worked out for him. He came to Canada. He's competing, and he's absolutely killing it.
Facts.
All right.
All right.
A tier.
On to A tier. Damn. Okay. McMaster, 100%. They'd probably be top of my A tier list. I don't know if y'all agree with that. I'd say McMaster for sure. I'd say they're the close second
I
to
think
me.
I
Are we going down like S, A, B, C, D, or are we just doing like one at a time? We'll do McMaster right now, anyways. But I think I dropped McMaster.
I don't think McMaster's
Really?
second best team.
Not
I'd say
anymore.
no, they aren't that good. I'd say like they're A minus. We put a bunch
Their
of teams in
roster
A,
right
but
now and I don't want to drop them too much because I actually know some of the guys, not with the Western team, but with like a pickup team. Some of the guys that I know scrimmed against McMaster, and they said they split maps with them. So it's not like they're a bad team anymore,
No.
or like it's not like they've dropped off that crazy amount. But their roster right now is looking like Big Head George, hence gets the call up to the main team. So that'll be interesting. I think that might add a mental game to it. Speedy and Moosey, who I've actually heard are kind of gross. Los, another guy who was from their academy team last year, and then Truly, who I've actually never heard of at all. So it could be interesting. Maybe that's a wild card. Like they must have had tryouts or something to find this guy.
Yeah.
So, and I know they just added him to the roster as a late addition. So it'll be really interesting to see. But I think I gotta put him in B. I think I don't want to drop him too much, but
I think
A minus B.
I think bottom of A, in my opinion. If this is the way we're going, I think that if U of T comes out hot like they did a few years back, they're going to be an A tier as well. I don't think I've heard their roster at all yet.
I don't think U
I've
of
heard any
T's
names
got
on there.
much right now. They're still figuring out tryouts and all that.
Are you talking about U of T or McMaster?
Yeah,
now?
U of T. I
So
moved on.
U of T, what I have been told about their rosters, they're still going through tryouts. Tweak and Huzzy are not 100% sure if they're going to play this year, but have been involved in those conversations. Kaneki, who was also part of their team last year, will be on the team probably. Jaden Impact will not be involved, and Aries and Sam Parmar are kind of in that conversation as well. So they don't know, but they have all these people that are there still and considering playing and are involved in tryouts and stuff. So I think we're going to see some semblance of those group of people in the tournament on the weekend. So the only person they're really missing is Mercury, I believe his name was,
Yep.
who was their main AR last year.
Listen,
So I don't know who actually plays.
Mercury was solid main AR too. He held like the line most of the time, which was big for the team. I don't know. I'd put him B tier right now.
Yeah.
With the names I'm hearing, I would say U of T at A.
See,
Genuinely.
I just don't think they play either. Like I don't Tweak is disgusting, don't get me wrong, but
Tweak's
like
I don't know, bro, but
don't think he
I'm
plays the
telling y'all, you two are about to catch a stray right here because if y'all try and put Western and you win an A, I swear
I'm not
to
putting
God,
you in an A. I'm not putting you in an A. Chill out there.
I swear to God.
But
I'm doing it.
I'm putting Brock in A. Period. Brock is A.
McMaster's above y'all. I'm sorry,
I think you're
bro.
ranking
McMaster's above Western.
You're ranking these people by name, not by like who's actually playing for their team.
Yeah.
It's like if this was Western versus McMaster Academy last year, what would you have said? Which is essentially what it is with Big Head George. So I don't know. It's not even like I don't want to shit on them. I want to give them a chance.
Yeah.
That's why I want to keep them in B. But like they're not the same team.
No, I agree with Eric on this one. And
listen, y'all might be an A, but I'm still saying that I think McMaster's better than y'all.
A minus. If there was an A minus here, I'd give.
We'll
that
put him
here.
at the end of A. We'll put him at the end of A once we
okay.
finish. Brock A.
Brock.
Clear.
Brock hasn't even changed a person.
No.
Brock's got to be A. They're
Yep.
top 25
Yeah,
at
they're
some
up
point.
there.
Yep.
They're up there.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a debate there.
Who else we got in A? I'd say
I'd
say Western. I'm not even gonna argue it. I'd say Western's
Listen,
A.
I'll give Western A, but y'all are like definitely like an A minus.
We should. I don't think like I think if we didn't forfeit that game against Dakota State, we could have went on a run there that day. We would have played. I think if we would have beaten Full Sail that day, which I think we would have, then I think you guys would have been thinking differently. But I know it's my program. I'm not trying to like talk up my program or anything. And I know that we haven't shown enough yet. But I think our aspiration this year is to be the top non-scholarship team in the CCL. I know that's bold right now, but that's where we aim to be.
Yep.
And I don't think it's out of the terms of possibility. So.
All right, I'm pulling my team here, and I'm gonna let you guys decide. But I personally, I have high hopes for the team going into next semester. I think they need quite a few reps to get things under, and get their strats down, get the fundamentals down.
Yep.
Bit more of that. I think they just run and gun at this point right now, which isn't working out, and they struggle at times in search. I think once they figure things out a bit more and have a consistent team that they're playing with, because I know they're swapping between Misty, Sus, just the way with how work goes right now. So I don't know.
No way.
I'd say they're B.
I think
I'd
y'all
put
are
'em B.
bottom.
I'd put 'em
I think
B.
y'all are bottom of B.
I think that's rough. I think we're
you're-
better than
you're-
McMaster.
I
No,
agree.
I-
I think you're better than McMaster too.
Bro,
Dawson, you're
y'all are
faded right now,
faded.
bro.
Y'all are faded.
I
Dawson's
think you're better
faded.
than McMaster.
I'm saying we're better than McMaster.
Someone tell me this McMaster roster again, please.
Dude, it's Big Head George, Hence,
Yep.
Moosey, Speedy, Los,
Have you
and
seen
Truly.
Bro. Pele play? Dawson.
Bro, I have seen Big Head George play. I have seen Hence play, and I have seen what's his fucking name play? God damn. The
Los?
fucking
Speedy?
yeah, I've seen Los play as well. Bro, I'm telling you right now, that is a good that team is decent. I'm not saying they're fucking incredible, but they're decent.
Dawson, what Shady said in the chat? Read it.
Dawson seen
Read
Max
it.
play together once.
Have you seen him play?
What is he?
No, you haven't.
You better stop it right now. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I gotta base them off what I've seen before.
No, but we're basing going into this tournament.
Going into this tournament?
Yeah.
Bruh. Goddamn.
Going into this tournament, McMaster hasn't had much reps. Whereas at least Windsor's been playing together. You know what I mean?
There's no way Shady's really doing this.
No, but I'm putting this here. I'm putting this here. Bobby is nasty. So is Pele.
Bobby's gross.
So is Sus. So is Misty.
captain?
Everyone just needs to
Western,
step up.
bro.
Everyone just needs to step up, play their roles, stay consistent. And I think Windsor will be top 4. But if they don't do that, then we're going to see them fall. But a big factor going into next semester is we're likely to see Espa come back. Espa took a semester off.
That's big.
So that's a huge change if that ends up happening.
Put him there.
So you think...
Okay, wait. Are we going down? Are we going all the way down?
Yeah, we're just
I
wanna bring people wherever we want,
Okay. Can we move on to one? I
Yep.
want to nominate
Go.
someone. I want OTSU and A. I want OTSU at the end of A.
I want
I think-
OTSU at the beginning of B.
I think OTSU they went toe to toe with Shenandoah like 3 times, and I get that's Vanguard, but they've been grinding. They got Tyler Fury, who was like a top ranked play grinder for a while. He ended up, I think he won that CCL launch tourney, or not the launch tourney, sorry, like the 8s tourney or whatever that they did. Like, he is individually really fucking good, and everyone slept on that Musk kid last year. There was this guy on their team, like, I know they sucked last year, like absolutely shambolically bad, but they had this guy named Musk who was playing with guys named like Island Boy with a bunch of fucking characters
Island
in their name.
Boy.
Yeah, like he had nothing going for him, and I talked to him last year, and he was like, "Man, I should have accepted my offer to Western instead." Like all this shit. Like he was actually good, and now you got him playing with players that actually know what they're doing. All 4 of them know what's going on the fucking map. Like OTSU is gonna be a good team this year.
No, they have their fundamentals down.
They're a good team. They're a good team. But the thing is, I think they're top of B. I don't think they're into the A tier yet, because I think if they play Brock or you guys at Western, I don't think it's significant. Like, I think there's still a significant gap there. Like the
Yeah,
same thing.
maybe.
I'd say the same thing about
I don't
you
know.
win and you guys.
I think I'd be more afraid playing OTSU than some of those other teams right now. Like I'd be more intimidated.
100%. But that's why I'm
I
saying
think that there's a better.
that's why I'm saying top of B because
Okay.
they're ahead of the
I'll
rest.
give you that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I
I
think
thought it was a hot take.
But
I
there's still a gap. There is still
Yeah.
like a decent sized gap between you and OTSU.
I'll
Yeah.
give you that.
No, I'd say that too, and I even think there's a decent gap between Windsor and Brock and Western as well. Like we still have a ways to go to get to that A tier level. But I do think OTSU has played well. They didn't have the best luck in the launch open, but I think as long as they keep it up, they probably will make a run. Like they'll be the other team that makes it out of our group in this tournament probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd think so.
All right.
Okay.
Next
Up,
let's go Carleton.
Carleton probably C. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I feel like they're
probably
just.
C.
I
I
feel
don't
like it's
really
not even like
yeah.
a fun debate. Like it's like they just seem like they fit there.
yeah. Okay, Fanshawe I think is definitely B.
Nope.
No,
Lower,
C.
way lower.
C.
C?
C below
Free bonk.
Carleton.
Hashtag
Below
free bonk.
Carleton.
All
Below
right.
Carleton
Get
for
it
sure.
trending. Hashtag free bonk.
Free bonk.
They're not the same team anymore. Like they have. I've heard 50 Cent's good. Bonk is disgusting. Boss Frost now got moved up, which like it'll be interesting to see how he grows as a player throughout the year. But I think they're just gonna be missing Pups too much.
Yeah.
Radix too
Yeah,
much.
I agree with that.
And know what? Both these teams in C beat us last year. So like I don't even like I feel like a dickhead putting them in C, but I just feel like Fanshawe has a long way to go.
Someone's about
and
to post this on Twitter.
Yeah, no, well, we'll be
maybe
posting
I'm
it.
being slanderous to Carleton right now.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, fuck, it's hard. Carleton's definitely like bottom of C, top, bottom of B, top of.
They're
C.
like a B minus. I feel like Fanshawe
that's the
and
thing.
Carleton are a B minus.
When the way I
That's
keep
a C to
thinking,
me.
the way I think of these levels is that there's a gap. There's like a significant gap between all these like tiers, right? So like
We need more tiers.
to get from Brock to St. Clair, like to get to the S tier level, you have to close your gap between them. Like there should not those games have to be like within say like 30 points, 40 points in hard points. Like they have to be extremely close to start like getting there when like St. Clair is like clearly the dominant team and they're consistently basically breaking down a lot of the teams on these lists, right? We've seen it happen. Like it's
I just
McMaster got slammed by him last year in playoffs. Like I'm like
That's true.
I'm sorry,
That's
but
true.
like it was not close. And
What
I don't think
Carleton
anyone
stats?
Noticed it.
Sue said, "Where are you getting your Carleton stats?" I don't think any stats were brought in there.
Yeah,
I said that they beat us. I said that they
talking
beat
about
us last year in Nace. They beat us 3-2 in a Nace game that we got reverse swept in, if I recall. It was pretty brutal. But Carleton, like the way I see it, when you're talking about that tier break, like you can't put Carleton in B then because they would get piss slammed by OTSU.
Yep.
They would just simply get piss slammed by OTSU.
No, that's true. And there is that like significant break between each of these tiers, I think. Like there's a skill gap for sure. All right, let's move on to the next one. Lambton.
Probably D.
Yeah, I have them D.
Wait, let me give some intel here.
Okay, if you have intel, I'm going off last year, so I don't know.
I'm gonna say this right now. Real quick. They used to be a really good team when I first got into Call of Duty. Like when I first got into like Collegiate COD, and then they just went downhill. And I have not heard Lambton College.
So they didn't have a team before, but now they're back with a team. And one of the players, I know a bunch of guys in the CCL that I've talked to actually recognize the name. His name is Ryan Nebula. And so if you look him up on Twitter, I know like Pup said that he has played with Ryan Nebula in 8s and stuff like that before, and Shady said he teamed with him, I'm pretty sure, in Black Ops 4 at one point, and he was disgusting. So like they have one player who's good, and kind of like we talked about before with some of these teams like Farmingdale State and some of those other ones that just have like this one comp COD kid, that might be all it takes. With that being said, the other guys' names are Zombie, Chainsaw, Magical Muffins, and Infernal Frost, and so they got to go in D.
Yep, that easy. All right, Dalhouse, D. It's just the way it's gonna go.
I can't really rate them because I just don't know.
And
them,
we'll just give them D because they start with D. They like the D, so we'll give it to that. Anyway.
Wait, we want some more gamer tags? Dalhousie has X Flamingo, Coster Funk, Jossum, and Kasha. Kasha was actually, and maybe RMC needs to be added into this conversation here. So someone for RMC yesterday was asking about whether they could use could use mouse and keyboard. We said no, and they're like, "Yo, what? Why? Why? Like that doesn't make sense," type thing. And then Kasha from Dalhousie jumped on it again today. Same thing. But then he threw some bows. He was like, "Oh, don't worry, I've been training for that. Like it takes no skill to left strafe or
no.
whatever. All this with your thumb." So
Oh, brother.
yeah, he's one of those guys that just hates on aim assist, and he thinks he's going to be a top dog. So I'm interested to see how Kasha holds up for Dalhousie.
I'm interested to see how he gets rock slammed by most of the teams. Anyway,
yeah, he's not getting 50 points in a match.
no,
but...
they'll be lucky to get 30 points. But
so RMC though as well is a team. Their players' names are Reef Walker, Rika, STJ Power, and KXN. So one guy with an OG name and then 3 other guys. So I don't know. Like I mean, maybe
I don't know
surprise
them.
us,
That's my problem. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never seen them, so we'll just toss him D for now.
I just can't
Okay.
picture like I don't know. I see gamer tags. That's what I see. And if I don't
We're
have a gamer tag,
we're gonna get back into this, like into the middle of things, away
Yeah.
from the bottom.
Okay,
Queens.
Keanu.
Queens.
Queens? Okay, Queens.
Queens.
Where are we thinking?
Where are y'all putting Queens? Because I'm putting them in B.
I'm putting them late B. Like, I put them
think-
behind McMaster.
If you guys are talking about
Behind.
like McMaster being this bad, I'd put
See.
him in B.
see.
Bro, if they're in C, then we got.
Well, I mean,
this
I
fucking,
wanted McMaster downgraded before.
dude. This list has got to change if
Wait,
fucking
can
McMaster's.
I
if,
say something?
We can make
Queens is
changes.
going to C.
Once we get them all in, we can make a few changes and
Wait,
explain
let
them, but-
me say something. I think that Queens has a lot of talent. I think Queens has a lot more talent than a lot of teams above them, but they have not been able to put it together thus far. Like I don't know what it is, but like Jackson's obviously really fucking good. I think Sue's really good. I think Obad's really good. Like I
Yes.
think they have a lot of good players, but for whatever reason, they haven't like I don't remember a big win out of Queen. Like Carlton and Fanshawe have upset my team before, like all this shit. Like, and I think there's other teams that I've seen pull off these wins that were a bit surprising, and I'm like, damn, you're actually nice. And I think all these players are individually good, but I haven't seen anything happen out of them. So I just don't know how I can move them up yet.
See, I still feel like McMaster's C.
Yeah,
No, I think McMaster's C and Fanshaw's B. I don't.
No,
Fanshawe-
Fanshaw's not the same team anymore. No,
I
they're
feel-
both B, C.
Man, I feel like Fanshaw's still nasty. Like, they're still pretty damn good. I feel like they're B tier good. Because, like, even when our team scrims them, like, scrims are close. Like, they have a pretty damn solid team, and they play the game, like, fundamentally well. Even in Vanguard, they did. So, I'd say, in my opinion, Fanshawe is late B. Like, I'd put U of T below Fanshawe. At this point in age.
We also just don't know about U of T.
So, I say, to be safe, we put U of T lower, Fanshawe up, McMaster down.
U of T lower, why Fanshawe up? I don't get why Fanshawe goes up.
I just think Fanshaw's a B tier team, bro.
I say we put them up.
I think they can test any of those 3 teams in B tier. Like, they can upset any of those teams.
That's true.
And they're
actually.
better than Carleton, by far.
I will say that Fanshawe would probably compete like head to head with all.
So
those
how about
teams
we
up
put
there.
Fanshawe up here, we put McMaster at the top of C, U of T next, and then Carleton.
Sounds like just dudes in the fucking chat talking about scrims right now. They're influencing too much. Don't let them get in your head. How do we downgrade U of T when I know that none of these people have scrimmed against them? And I know that last year it's almost all the same names and they were not holding their nuts. So it's too tough to like I just don't understand how we move U of T down like that. Like I just think that
Bro, if Ken's on that
team,
they're looking like. I mean, some of the names you're saying, bro. Like,
So maybe we leave them up
no,
in
those
B
like
then.
name wise, like most of those teams, even in B, would struggle. Like if we knew the U of T team and it was similar to last year's, they're in A.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. See, this is what I was saying.
Yeah,
like,
but I don't think I could put them there yet because we don't know if they're playing, and I know they.
So we
haven't
leave
been
them
scrimming
B
like
then.
that.
but that's what I'm saying. We should
saying
be.
all
we should
these
be
people
based,
arguing would not hold them if they were in form. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And
I don't
so,
know. Do we put
I
them
think
in
we
front of
should move on.
Fanshawe? Yeah.
I just let it be. I think it's fine with
Okay.
that.
All right.
Queens though, we were talking about Queens.
Yep.
I think they gotta go still. I don't know how you could put them with like I do think they have upset potential. But I just don't know
I
how
think
you put-
McMaster's better than Queens.
I mean,
but
in pool play last year, Queens beat OTSU, but I guess we're just gonna forget about that. 3-0.
Brother,
Yeah,
brother,
250,
brother, what are
250
you
to 90,
talking
250 to
about?
90, 6-1.
Do you know who OTSU was last year?
they're a
This is
different
what we
team
just
this
talked
year.
about.
Yeah.
OTSU was Island Boy. OTSU couldn't
I
hold a
know, but
controller.
still,
They had a
bro.
controller upside down. Tyler Fury is playing this year. They're not the same team.
I still think
They're not
Queens
even
is
close.
better. I still think Queens is better
OTSU
than what
got-
you guys are giving them credit for.
OTSU got 3-0'd by everyone
You guys
last
are trying
year.
to throw, bro. You guys are trying to throw
Nah.
Queens in like C, bro.
Yeah,
Like
'cause who
there's
did they
no
beat?
way.
Nah,
did they
Queens B. Queens B or C. I put them top of C
Wait,
or
wait.
end of B.
Hey,
Let's
first off, let's go here. Let's go here. Where are we putting you, Ottawa?
All right, U Ottawa's a
Oh,
C.
wait! Your argument's gonna be horrible here, because Queens lost to U of Ottawa and then forced a replay because of stream things that were allowed when they probably shouldn't have been, and they won on the rematch. That was some faded shit last
Hey,
year.
Dawson,
That was
Priestley's
fucked
in the
up.
chat giving props to OTSU. So
I never said OTSU wasn't good though. I literally agreed with the top of B. I
yeah,
literally said top
I'd
of
say
B.
Queens is top of C, bottom of B. That's where I'd put them.
I'd put Queens. I could give you top of C, but I don't know how you could put them any higher than that.
I agree. All right,
We'll
Ottawa.
stick with that.
I think Ottawa's a D. C, top of D or bottom of C.
No, I think you have to put them bottom, because like you think that they would lose to any of the teams in D.
No.
No.
Like I don't think Ottawa's bad. We played
No,
them
Ottawa's good. Yeah, they aren't
They're
horrible.
not good. They're not good. Don't get me wrong. But we.
I'm just trying to gas up my boy Fate. I feel bad for him up there. But
Dude, I think like Hish and Hash. I know one of them's still playing. They're pretty good. That Ek guy was all right. We played them in Nace recently, and like they were all right. I think I'm curious where Keanu goes here. So I think put them in the bottom of C.
Bro, this guy,
I'll do that.
this
Bottom
guy
of
Eric
C.
is talking about us to close the chat. This
I
guy
don't know
sees Keanu in the
shit
chat,
about
he's fucking
Keanu, so I'll leave
switches
that up
right
to you
him,
two.
I don't know like a ton about him. Like, I mean,
Eric's just
the program
grinning.
is-
He knows what he wants to say right now.
the program itself is good.
D.
The program itself is good. I think they can contest teams in C. I think they beat the teams in D. Like,
They
I
would
don't
beat
know-
the teams in D. I
Yeah,
think.
I'd agree. I'd agree that I think they'd beat the teams in D. I don't know that they'd beat any of the other teams in C.
I think they could beat Ottawa and Carleton.
I think they can contest the teams in C.
I don't think
100%
they'd have a chance
I
against
don't know.
McMaster and Queens.
I'm not
You know,
gonna.
I know-
I'm not gonna say that they can beat any of the teams in C, but I definitely think they can contest them.
I know that they
Like-
played with their coach when they played St. Clair on Vanguard recently, but like, bro, one substitution doesn't make you get like piss slam 250 to 12. Like
That's
you
true.
were getting 50-point club no matter what at that point. That's where
Yeah.
I see them. And I'm like, damn, that's not even a competitive team. Like
I mean, if I'm
that's
being
where I have
honest,
a hard time with it.
but if I'm being honest, like, there's a lot of teams that St. Clair's put down that bad.
But dude, it's not old COD anymore. It's hard to get a 100-point club, let alone 12-point clubbed.
That's
It's
true.
like even teams that can like if you can shoot back, you can get close to 200 points.
Was this
with these.
scrim on Vanguard?
This was playoffs in Vanguard. This is last week,
Yikes.
and I get they played with a sub, but man, like
One
if
sub
you've
doesn't
got-
make that
if you
big
don't-
of a
yeah,
difference.
if you only got 12 points, like man, you're just not a competitive team to me.
No.
So I don't know. I'd do bottom of C
All right.
just because it's like a weird discrepancy. But
Yeah, we'll toss them bottom of C because I don't think
We don't
they
know enough
lose
either.
to D.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Okay, Waterloo. What's their squad?
I'll leave that to you guys. I
So
don't know much about
Waterloo,
them.
it sounds like I think Maz is going to be playing, but I don't think he's playing in the Esports Canada thing.
Mm-hmm.
Their roster for that is Bork, JS Twix is back. So Twix was like their
Right.
best player 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah, I
back.
remember Twix.
That makes a big difference. And then Jovo and Fico, who I've been told are both grinding this game.
Okay.
But you guys saw the screenshots yesterday.
Yeah.
I think they got to go C.
I'd say mid to late C, probably. Or yeah, they're
Yeah.
behind. They're behind McMaster and Queen. That's right.
I'd want to put them top, but after seeing that screenshot yesterday, I think I got to downgrade them a
All
little
right,
bit.
where are we
So
putting them between? Like behind McMaster, behind Carleton, behind Ottawa.
I put them above Carleton, but
All right. Yep. All right. Okay, so we got Saints in S tier, and we got Brock and Western in A tier. We got OTSU, U Windsor, Fanshawe, and U of T in B tier. We have Queens, McMaster, U Waterloo, Carleton, U Ottawa, and Keanu in C tier. And then we got Lambton, Dalhousie, and the RMC Paladins in D tier.
Okay, I'm saying this right now. I'm saying this right now for the fucking chat too. This is a premature list.
Yes.
A
This is
hella
also
premature list.
predictive.
Yeah, this is predictive as hell. So after this MW2 tournament, we're gonna redo this list. We're
Yeah,
100% redoing
that's
this
fair.
list, and we're gonna see
Yep.
how we rated people, because I need to see how some of these teams play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, if U of T comes out firing with the fucking roster, with a roster I think they're gonna build, a good fucking roster, they're instantly going to A in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're
Hey,
instantly going to A.
this is pre CNE guesses from us. This is just before the tournament this week. We're just trying to put something together where we think teams are going to land. And God knows with this game, it could be completely different. So we'll see where it goes, and then we're obviously going to, once this tournament's done, we'll do something like this again on the next podcast. And then we'll compare the two. We'll see how much has changed, and we'll discuss that. But I think this is pretty solid right now, the way we have it. I think this is a fair tier list.
It's alright.
Dawson's not happy with it.
It's tough to agree on all this. So
yeah, no, it's fun though.
I think
it
all
was
of us
fun
have
to
a
make.
sticking point or two. Dawson wants to move up U of T.
Blow it up, bro.
I want to
Blow it up.
move. I want to move up. I want to move up OTSU, obviously, and Dylan.
Fanshawe.
I mean, you got your way already. You wanted to move them up. You got that.
I like Saints and Brock. The rest of that fucking tier list, blow it up, bro. Blow that shit up.
I honestly think B. I think Brock could be almost at S tier, but it's just the fact they won't ever get over the Saints. I don't think they have the talent, but St. Clair's just so far ahead. And I think if we had another tier, I think Brock would be on their own tier, and Western would be on the same tier as OTSU.
Admittedly, we haven't even scrimmed yet. We have 0 scrims.
Hey,
we haven't done
we're
tryouts.
running our first scrim.
We haven't even done tryouts yet. Honestly, we are playing this tournament here with whoever shows up basically on that day. So
no, there's no way we just put this team in A, bro. This is exactly bro.
Lock it in.
I love how I literally said how we should be putting them lower, and this guy literally was like, "I'm ready to argue," and then this motherfucker goes,
"Oh yeah."
So how about this?
Scrim, bro.
What if we put? What if we put them?
No, it's too late.
Too late? No, we're keeping it. We're done.
We're locked second on the
done.
power rankings. The council has spoken. Oh, we'll see. Wait till we face Brock in the winter. I mean, in the grand finals.
This is the last thing I'm gonna bring up before we dip out.
This list, bro.
This is the last thing I'm bringing up before we dip out. But we'll take a peek over at the top 10, the last one from November 12th. So we had St. Clair at number 1. This is for Esports Canada Post-Secondary. Western was number 2.
Yeah,
Rock was number 3, so they flip-flopped, which I don't agree
Head
with.
of the committee.
I don't agree with.
No wonder they're
Windsor at 4, Fanshawe at 5, OTSU at 6, Queens at 7, Carleton at 8, U Ottawa at 9, Keanu at 10. This is before we were considering U of T, McMaster, a few of these other teams, which in the next power ranking will be considered. But what do you think of this? I don't agree with the Brock and Western flip flop at all. No offense, Eric.
Can I speak for something in it? So the moving up and down is not really true. They actually in the first 2 power rankings completely tied.
Oh, okay.
And so it was a tie the whole time, and I didn't care enough to argue. And Chugs was like, okay, we had you guys at the end of last year, they were in the power rankings. We weren't, although we beat them the only time we played in an official. But we've always been close in scrims and stuff, whatever. And it wasn't there wasn't anything concrete to be like, hey, we're doing better than you in this, so whatever. Then Brock kind of gave up on Nace, but I think they had 1 bad loss. It was with a random roster too. And we were doing all right in that launch tournament, and so people voted us up. This is not a me decision. There actually went from, it was split, 3 people having Western in second, 3 people having Brock in second the first 2 weeks, and it went to 4 people having Western in second, and 2 with Brock. But so yeah, it's the margin is super fine. Gavin's in my chat being yeah, he's talking about. I get it. I know Nace was nothing, but it's really all we had to work with. And people just someone ended up flip-flopping because of the results either of NACE or the launch series, but the margin was tied beforehand, so that's kind of what it came down to. And kind of the same with Ottawa, Keanu.
I'm telling y'all right now, when we redo this tier list, neither of y'all are my friends. Like if I am not helping either of your teams, bro.
I can't wait to be an S.
If y'all shit the bed, you're getting put down in this fucking tier list.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah. The boys have something to prove, and I told them that. Like they have some work to do. They got to grind. But I think we can all agree the bottom 3 on this power ranking will not be in the.
I don't know. I think I could see some of them slipping in. I don't know. It's interesting to see how McMaster does, how that U of T throwaway team does, and I mean Waterloo, whether they can live up to how good we know they can be. And so I guess
just screenshots.
Yeah, Jesus. But that was a good hour and a half.
Yeah, that was a solid pod. It definitely went longer than we thought it was gonna, but it was fun. We had lots to talk about. We had some good topics. Pretty interesting. Thanks for all the chat. Everyone in the chat for interacting. It was awesome as always.
Y'all got me ready to watch this tournament now on Wednesday. On God.
Anyone have any questions for us before we dip?
Link those streams. Just link those streams on Wednesday. That's all.
Yes, please. We will tweet out college or on our
clip your shit even.
Ready? Yes.
Link your streams, or I'm insta putting your fucking team in D. I do not care who you are. I do not care if it's U of T, bro, and they don't link a stream. Straight to D, bro. Straight to D.
Okay.
Whoever links me a stream, bro, insta A's.
And we will give you retweets. So.
Yeah, we'll give you retweets too.
Yes, we will. We will always support the Canadian teams, but Sus, you need to stop gassing your gameplay and show up. I'm joking.
Damn.
Good luck to everyone that's playing this weekend, whatever. It should be a fun time. I'm excited to watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, best of luck to everyone. Yeah, go kill it, boys. And I know you're. But represent Canada. This is an awesome tournament to kind of show what Call of Duty is at the collegiate level in Canada. Bring recognition.
No way, you just said represent Canada in a Canada-only tournament. That's crazy.
Nah, I mean, like, play well, and then we'll go into the CCL and represent.
Anyways, lads. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful night. It's been great having everyone tune in again, listen to this stream, listen to the podcast live. We'll get it up on Spotify a lot faster this time, probably within next day or two. And you guys will be able to listen to the audio version of that whenever you want. If you missed it, make sure to link your friends. Tell them we got this pod going on. Tell them to check us out on friggin' Twitter, man,
Listen to us in the car ride.
Gas us to 100.
Gas us up, bro. We're almost at 100 followers on Twitter. Come on, give us some followers.
26 followers on Twitch. Hey, if you aren't following right now, we got 12 viewers. Hit the follower. Hit the notification bell so you know when our next stream's going live. We're on socials. Extra Creddy on Twitter. Always posting, keeping up with challengers, keeping up with all the CollegeCoD content. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a week or two with another episode. Excited to see how this tournament plays out this week, and happy to be here with two great guys again. Boys.
Awesome. Other than that, ending it off, everyone have a great night, and pods will be kind of bi-weekly, but we'll run it whenever.
It'll be more standard once we head into next. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.